All right. So today I'd like to talk about the art of shred guitar. I have a unique perspective on this, as I've been playing in bands since the year 1969. Woo! I was in the 5th grade playing with some older kids in the 8th grade, and our big gig, which we practiced for months for, was my cousin's 6th grade graduation party. It was intense. But we were playing hits of the day. These are songs that were on the radio. Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix. Also, Sunshine of Your Love by Eric Clapton and Cream. Had to have some Beatles. To me, the first real shred guitar solo of the day was Jimmy Page and Led Zeppelin, from Led Zeppelin 2, a song called Heartbreaker. Like this, you probably heard it. And his solo in there. Did all kinds of wild pulls and stuff. And I'll just paraphrase them. Kids my age at the time, we used to call them, oh, you can play the Jimmy Page triplets, which are this sound. That sort of thing. And so that started things off with this whole, it wasn't called shred guitar at the time. They were just like, he was called a guitar wizard. He was really good. As we went through the 70s, we had jazz rock fusion influence every part of music, pop, rock, R&B. And guitarist Jeff Beck released a solo album in 1975 called Blow by Blow. And it actually went to number 4 on the charts. It was all instrumental. And one of my favorite songs is... It was a great album. Then by the time we hit 1980 was the era of what's known as super chops or super shredders. And Eddie Van Halen had come along in the late 70s, and he has a landmark solo on Van Halen 1 called Eruption. And at the time, there was nothing else heard like that before. The sound, the feel of it, the technique, and you're probably familiar with this. That kind of sound. So every guitar player now had that in their toolbox. We had neoclassical metal, they call it, but we also call it Bach rock. It's just like Paganini on the guitar, and they brought us sweep arpeggios and super speed picking. The arpeggios they use. And there's other ones. That sort of stuff. And the difference, the speed difference between sweeps and speed picking, we go up and down with our pick. With the sweeps, it looks like we're strumming. And I'll show you the difference. Here's some speed picking. And sweep. And see, it looks like a big deal, sounds like a big deal, but honestly, it's really easy. I'm not lazy. I like to do them, but once you learn, it's really not that difficult, and they're fun to play. So the bar got raised throughout the 80s. This is the beginning of the 80s this stuff happened. As we went along, the hairdos got bigger. If you look back at MTV, they kept getting bigger. They got louder. There's guys and gals playing with 2 necks and 3 necks and doing all this crazy stuff. And what happened at some point, the circus part of the show became more important than the music, and that whole thing burned itself out. And we have kind of a resurgence of shred now. And I've noticed since probably lots of you here were born after 1990, but when we hit about 1990, I noticed that everything got standardized. Everybody played the same tap lick, same, this stuff, same sweeps. Everybody was playing this one here. And the same speed licks, everybody's doing this. Whatever, and I am here today just to show some ways that we can break out of that box. I use these exercises to break out of my own box. And what I'll be doing, and I did on the intro here, multi-finger tapping. So you we add another finger. So it gives you a whole different sound, kind of liquid sound. And these are just options for sounds. And so for tapping, I'll use multi-finger. I'm going to play over a track here. Multi-finger tapping, you can play one scale here, or parallel scales, which has a sound to it. For the sweeps, I'll try to use the whole neck and not just hang in one spot. If you ever watch guitar players, they'll get in one spot and they just hang there because it's comfortable. So I'm here today to get uncomfortable and also break the cardinal sin of shredders, making a mistake. Yeah, it's like the shred thing. Everybody's got to play so perfect. I'm like, forget perfection. Perfection can be a soul killer. All right, so we got that. And I'm going to throw in guitarist Jeff Beck for years now has been playing without a pick. So I'll throw in some stuff, finger style, distortion, shred stuff. And see if that's about all the stuff I'll cover. And the track that I'm going to play over here is, sounds like a big deal, A Dorian. We have all these big names in music. All it is, it's the G major scale starting on the second note. It's not a big deal. But the Dorian sound you may be familiar with, Carlos Santana. That is A Dorian, one of my favorite scales. And why don't we roll the track? I got a 3-minute track. I'll try to remember to throw all these things in. Every time I play through this stuff, I play it different. Sometimes I play really good and I'm like, wow, I did good. Some other times I completely make mistakes. We can fix it in post. Yeah, these guys could put auto-tune on me. I don't fix it. But yeah, let's roll the track and see what we get. And I'll try to do these techniques. Just, when you see me going like this, I'm using sweep picking. You see this stuff, I'm speed picking, multi-finger tapping. And if I burp, I am so sorry. That number 2 with fire sauce. Just kidding. Let's roll it. As you can see, I'm a little bit older. I actually got tired doing that. 3 minutes. Boy, I wouldn't do good in jazzercise. But as you saw, there's a couple of things I tried. Was trying a high kind of keyboard riff. The other thing I want to mention, as far as the shred stuff goes, is not to worry about perfection, and just remember to always try to find new sounds and break out of your own box. Some of these things through string skipping and jumping around the neck and all these things I just did are ways you can get new sounds. And before I sign off, I'd like to dedicate this talk to guitarist Jason Becker, who embodies the true spirit of shred guitar. And he's had ALS for 30 years, kind of like Stephen Hawking, and he's still producing music. He can only move his eyes, and his dad helped him do a system where he can actually compose. He's writing stuff for orchestras and stuff. That's awesome. And my brother Pat, who I recently lost. But don't patronize me. Just kidding. But sorry, yeah, it was just a couple months ago. So I was a supporter with my music and stuff, cheerleader, whatever you want to call it. So I'll play a couple riffs to end out here. And for the shredders out there, always remember to be original and don't be afraid to be different, and keep shred guitar alive.